Hello, what's up, bro?
Hey, this is the What's Up Bro podcast. We talk about movies, TV, geek stuff, news, pop culture, and it's funny, motherfucker. With Nary Science, you know the question is not on here that I could have said yes to would have been a cock ring. I'm like, oh, I've done that. Jeff,
it was called Bibbidi Bobbidi Doorknob.
Stephanie.
The only reason he was invited was because he was dating my friend. It was like a pity invite. And he was like one of the first people to get there. What a loser.
And we have Missy.
Yes, I'm here.
Is also here.
Missy is also here. A girl has no last name.
Not anymore. Am I right? Huh? And special correspondence with Steph Mayer Sr.
Yeah, I don't have to look cute for you.
And this is the What's Up Bro podcast.
That's how winning is done.
Hey, I'm Dave Chappelle, and this is What's Up, Bro.
All right. Welcome for the 300th time to the What's Up Bro podcast.
You don't have applause on your soundboard?
I have this.
Yeah.
Yep. That's it.
That's what I have.
That's what I think of when I think of us. Yep.
I am uber excited. I'm beyond excited for this fucking 9 years, man. 9 years in the making. And if you're doing the math, and we were doing one episode a week for 9 years, this should have been way higher than 300. But yeah, life gets in the way, man. To paraphrase a great movie, life gets in the way.
Gets in the way.
I said paraphrase. Yes. Anyways, I am Nary Science. We are recording. I am Nary Science. With me, as usual, is Missy.
Hello.
Mr. Meaner. And then I know I had to. And then Mike is here too.
Mike Misdemeanor Mercadal.
Yeah.
Just all of us. All right.
We're all different. That's what people don't know about the show. From the beginning, the inception of this show was that each person would be one facet of Missy Misdemeanor Elliott's personality. Now, are we super duper fly? Can we stand the rain? You don't want no 1 minute man.
Well, time out. We could discuss that.
Which one? We each represent a facet of Missy Misdemeanor Elliott.
I am the one with the garbage bag. That's the one I am.
You're the one with the garbage bag. I want to be
fly.
Yeah. You're the Zim beep. Who got the keys? Yeah.
That
one.
Nailed it.
Look, we already have a comment. We already have a comment from Pico George.
What's up, bro?
And what's up, bro? Thank you very much, Pico George, for joining us on our 300th episode.
Yeah.
It's been pretty gnarly, man. It's been pretty. It's a pretty crazy ride. 9 years. Mike left me, went to New York City. We started off recording with a snowball microphone at the center of the table of a card table.
It was a Yeti. It was a Yeti, Mike. It was a Yeti, which is fine for one person. It was not fine to get a room. It just sounded like echoey shit. I remember listening. Are they still up? Are the old episodes still around?
Yes,
they are. You have to go to geekbro.net, and then that way you see them on the player. You go to WuBro, and then you'll see them on the. You gotta take off the ad blocker, because if you have an ad blocker, you won't see the media player.
Wow.
But they're all on there. They're all on. If you're on iTunes, if you're listening to us on iTunes, if you're listening to us on iHeartRadio, anything like that, you're only going to get the last 50 episodes or something like that. Something crazy like 75 or whatever, some arbitrary number, but it won't be the entire amount. But if you go to geekbro.net, they're on there.
Man, I'm scared of that. I would be so scared to go back and listen to old episodes.
It's awesome.
Some of them are hot garbage.
Hot garbage.
I remember Mike and I talking, and we used to, when we started the podcast, we were doing this thing where we brought in a guest every single episode, like for the first 10 episodes or something. And then I ran out of people. I ran out of comedians, local comedians that I knew.
That you were willing to let into your home.
That I was willing to let into my home.
Right.
And then it was like, I don't know. And then Mike and I just started like having conversation. But I remember at one point we had a guest on, and I'm not gonna say names, but at one point we had a guest on, and Mike was like, "Hey, I've been listening to it." He used to edit all the podcasts, all the episodes. And Mike said, "I've been listening to this. It's really fucking boring. I don't know if you want to." I don't know if you want to release it. And then I said, yeah, I know. I was fucking bored while I was recording because the guest that we had. And then after that, it was like, I think that was the moment that we just said, fuck it. Let's just, me and you.
We went through a phase of, like we wanted it to be like guests and stuff like that. But like the aspirations of a new comedian being like, I'm going to do a different set every night. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, come on, man.
We probably should have gotten our feet together, like gotten our shit together first before we started inviting guests.
But well, that's not how podcasts work, man. Or they didn't then. Now it's like everybody just dives in, and now they have produced shit. There's fucking podcast dramas. This was 9 years ago was kind of like, we thought that it was
Wild Wild West, man. It was
you could just do whatever you wanted.
But now look, we're fucking. I remember when he left you, Mike. When you left to New York, I remember thinking, "Oh, there goes the fucking podcast." Again, and then I went through a slew of fucking co-hosts. Some were good.
Yep.
Some were not.
And some were Stephanie Meyer Sr.
She's the best. I mean,
she
awesome.
Really
I love her.
She left too, but it's like she now has like a husband and a child. So it's like, what's more important to you, Steph? Huh? What's more important to you?
Trust me, I asked her that multiple times.
So stupid.
Multiple times. We have a couple of people. Let's get through some comments here.
Oh, comments already?
Audio.
Hey, Jeff.
Jeff says congrats. Thanks, Jeff. Jeff's been on here. He was. Vanessa says happy 300, WuBro. Thank you.
Also
Yolanda, number one fan. Yolanda is a 100%er. Yolanda, for those of you who don't know what a 100%er is, she is a frequent commenter on the show, on the live shows, and she is loved 100%. Everybody loves her.
Yes.
Yeah, Yolanda's the best.
And Hilda says,
Hilda,
thank you.
I know her. Happy, thank you.
I should probably share this, right? Because
did you not?
I was so excited to be like, we're doing.
It's up on WuBro. It's on WuBro.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. So, I'm I'll come a long way, is what I'm saying. Look, we got technology now that we can actually record across the country, across the globe. It's pretty fantastic.
Thanks, COVID.
I have a question. I'm a little disappointed because you guys made such a big deal about 300. I expected like costumes and headgear and shit. I watched the movie to prep, so I understood all the. There's
been 300 episodes. Have you not realized that we're all talk? Have you not realized that
we have zero follow through? You don't.
We are two ideas men with nobody doing the follow through and due diligence. We're two guys talking out of our ass.
So it's funny. I swear to God, I had just left CVS picking up a prescription, and I was at literally looking to my right. I go home, and then looking to my left, I could go to Party City, and I was like, fuck it. And I'll tell you the only reason I didn't turn left is because I couldn't make an exact left. I had to make a right to then make a U-turn, and I was like, that's just a lot of work.
I told you, we're all talk.
Wow,
we're all talk.
That's if it would have been a direct left, I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, I gotta make a right anyway, and then get on all the way on that side, and then make a U-turn. That's too much. It's too much. And then I have a helmet here from Party City that's a Thor. And I was like, maybe I could get away with that. I'm like, no, that's kind of cheesy. So no.
That's like when you show up with multiple, like the kid on Halloween that has like different pieces of different things, and they're like, I'm a Power Ranger. It's like, no, you're not. And then I'm poor. Leave me alone. I'm poor.
I'm Batman. You're wearing black jeans. What are you fucking talking about? Like, you can't. By the way, that was me. That Batman kid wearing black jeans. Same thing as wearing. I was a Superman kid. I'm dressed as Superman. I literally had a Superman t-shirt with blue jeans and a fucking red towel out there on me. Yeah,
red towel. But that's all you needed back then. Dad is in love. My Yolanda commenting. Dad is in love with the hot bod 300 guy. Dad, with the dad she's talking about is my dad. And
Okay.
yeah, of course he is. Look at him. Of course.
That
Who
is-
didn't love King Leonidas in the fucking 300 movies?
I'm really happy that I ended up watching the movie. It was
So you
a lot
watched
of
it.
fun. I did, and I smiled too much. Like I enjoyed it a little bit. Like I should probably talk to somebody about it because it was a lot of fun to watch.
In fact, I didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, you should watch. Like I was trying to like not be that guy that bombards you with like you gotta watch like peels your fucking eyelids open and like no watch the fuck. But I was like watch the movie. Yeah, you should watch it. Like and throughout the week I was just like laying like fucking little
It
sly
worked.
comments like
That
I don't know. You could be watching 300 now. I don't know what like just doing that because I fucking knew you. I'm like what did it took everything I had not to be like you're gonna fucking love it.
But what was the
movie?
What was the reason why you didn't watch it? Like why didn't you watch it?
Am like infamous for having missed a bunch of like pop culture movie like moments in the past, like from 2001 to like 2011 or
But for
even later.
For what reason though? Like just because?
Clinical depression. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
well,
pretty.
yes.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that'll do it.
I was that out of it that I completely. I didn't even realize. Like in 2006, I was like 23. That's not. You know what? Never mind. But yeah, I missed a bunch of movies. I missed a bunch of movies and stuff like that. So I remember that this was a big deal because there was a parody about some guy yelling about loving pasta or something like that.
Oh, I hated that. I never got the fucking what is it called? Los 299. I never got it.
I remember the parody,
that was my
but I
favorite.
don't
That's really the only one I really like about them because that was the first one I liked and I thought it was great. And then after that, I was like, oh, you guys are just trying too hard now to fucking get like you trying. I felt like they were trying to like capture the dragon again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, the first time was really funny, but after that, you're just trying to.
But you know the irony of it is that that's all TikTok is now.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're literally just doing that. They're just doing that. You know,
not
like
always.
Not always, but like that's a huge that's a huge component of TikTok is just lip syncing goofy shit over other shit.
You know, it's funny.
It has a Vine energy to it, but then if you eat your algorithm, it takes you different places.
All right, real quick, hold on. I want to say thank you, Hilda, for checking us out. She's totally new. Just wanted to show support because she saw 300. She saw the number 300 and she was like, I had to jump in and say congrats. So thank you so much. I don't know if you're still on here, but I promise you it's fucking great. It's a fun time.
Don't listen with your kids in the car.
Don't do that. Don't do that. A topic I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
And I heard this. I was watching a movie and I'll tell you what my answer is when I tell you the movie, but I was watching a movie and I thought to myself, what in a because you know we live in a society where you're like USA number one, right? We do this shit. That's our fucking society. Is like we're always rooting for our own team. But I'm asking you, if you could be born today in any culture, in any country, would you choose your own? Or better yet, if you couldn't choose what you currently are, what other culture or country would you be born in?
So if I'm understanding the question correctly, it's right now, like 2021.
I don't want you to, here's the thing. I don't want you to think like, oh, I want to be German in 1940. Like, I don't want that thing with
Jesus, easy.
I don't know why I picked that time.
Wow.
For a minute there, they were on top of the world. I'm not saying they did it the right way.
Wow.
That was the first
what a turn. At 300, we reveal that this podcast has been hosted by a Nazi the whole time. Like, oh my god!
Take your mask off.
I am not Gina Carano.
No, this is when Cap Hail Hydras into the like when they rewrite the existence.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want it to be like anywhere in time. I'm talking about like now. Right. Like, you could be. Let's say you were able to choose being able to be 30 years old or whatever, however, old, 35. But right now, in 2021, you're 35 years old. What culture would you like to have been, or would you choose to be, and what country would you live in? Because Vanessa has immediately she had. Oh wait, sorry.
All right, we get it.
I'm
My dad
sorry.
likes the dude.
Vanessa chose Australia rather quickly. Like I posed this question to her,
yeah.
out of it, and immediately she goes, Australia. They don't have COVID, so I'll fucking choose. Like she.
Good question. Yeah. Good idea. Good.
Yeah.
So in 2021, so it's technically I would have been born and raised to be 39 in that culture.
Correct.
So I would say to grow up in like the 80s and 90s. I will say, because I have family in Europe, right? So I have family in France, and France, and then like a little Germany, because it's like on the border of Germany. That feels like a cool time and place to have been. Like you're close enough for the Berlin Wall to have gone down when you were young enough to appreciate. Like it was like an exciting thing. You're a kid, whatever. There's a lot of like, I guess maybe that if I had to pick another one, I mean it's a tough call because like. America is still America in 2021. Even if I was born over there, it's just like
but you could be born in America, but of a different culture. You can say I would like the Japanese American, whatever the fuck. Just given
sure
you choose. That's why I gave the options of culture and country, because you could still be in one country and be of a different culture.
That's okay. That changes it a little bit, I guess. But okay, Missy, you go. I'm still thinking.
My answer is Italy, and that's because great food, always great food, and Italians, like as a culture, are big on pleasure, which I think as a culture in the United States we don't know anything about. So I would like to live in a culture that prioritizes pleasure in all aspects, not just like the obvious. But like like taking time off or whatever, like it's just a norm for them to enjoy life and not be in that capitalism.
That's most of Europe, man. That's like Europe is like when I went to Germany to visit my brother, my stepbrother in Munich. They just an average Sunday. We went to like these beer halls and had sausages for breakfast and shit, and we were just like they were having like people in lederhosen and fucking like playing oompa polka music, like, and they're like, oh, is this an event of any kind? And my stepbrother was like, nah, man, it's Sunday. And it was like, holy shit, like that's just what they do. Like everyone does that whole concept of working to live and living to work is for real there. Like you live, you work your job, but that's not how you like who you are, like you can live and do other things.
You work hard, we play hard.
You're like a train ride away from like these epic monuments.
Yeah, that's true.
Like right now, if I got in my car and I drove 4 hours, I would be in Orlando. If I was in, I think it's Rome. If you're in Rome and you get in your car and in 4 hours, you can be in Paris. So I like that.
Not 4. It's not 4. I mean, it's still. Here's the thing: if you hop like to fly anywhere, like Ryanair or these like EasyJet, like little commuter things, it's like Southwest. You can get anywhere in Europe from anywhere in Europe for like $50. Like literally, you could, or before COVID. I don't know what it is now.
I've sworn that Rome to Paris was 4 hours. I looked it up once. I have tons of family and friends in Europe too. So I
mean, you're talking about driving or on a train?
No, I'm talking about driving.
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But we drove to Venice.
I'm looking it up.
We drove to Venice from Strasbourg, which would be closer, and it was a longer thing.
Yeah, no, Rome to Paris is not 4 hours driving. 4 hours on a train, maybe. Not 4 hours driving. I don't think so.
But either way, it's like you're still, dude. Like when I was over there, like I'm so thankful to have been able to.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm wrong. Like not even off by an hour.
It's not. It's a long way.
14 hours. I'm wrong.
I mean, that's why I was like, maybe flying 4 hours.
Why did I think that? Well, whatever. The point is that I'm $50 away from like literally so many other interesting places.
Yeah. But then at that point, you're like,
here's the thing: from Rome to Paris, there's a lot to fucking see and do.
Yeah,
it's not like Miami to Orlando where you're like, well, I'm fucking stuck in this car for 3 hours, ain't shit to do. Like there's a lot of fucking things to do. That's a whole trip in itself.
Years ago, in 2005, 2006, New Year's, we went to France and then we drove to Prague in the Czech Republic, right? And we drove like we rented cars and my family
Yeah, that's how you drive. We drive
no, but like we had 2 separate cars and we were like caravanning.
You caravan.
And we were driving, and then like you said, like the rest stop gas station where we stopped, like where you normally get on the turnpike and there's like a fucking, Cinnabon or whatever. It was literally like in the Swiss Alps. Like it looked like fucking Sound of Music, and we were all just like, yeah, we're just filling up the gas tanks. Okay, did everybody get snacks? Did everybody pee, poop, whatever? All right, let's roll. And then you continue driving through the Swiss Alps. Like it's it's
I would still want. I think
nuts.
The question was like, where would you want to live and what like culture would you want to be? I think I would want to live in Italy, but I think I'd still want to be me, because I think that like the experience of being an American and then living in Europe.
But you is not American exactly. Your culture is
Hispanic.
Why? So what was your answer? What was the point? Like what brought on the question?
So I'm watching a movie, right? I'm watching this movie, and it was a movie based in Hawaii. And I remember thinking to myself, I just randomly thought to myself, man, it would have been fucking great to be Hawaiian, like to be born Hawaiian. Like I love their culture. I am really like the more I learn about it, and I'm not like this deep, like, oh, I fucking read up a lot. But and I'm gonna be completely honest. It's like the more I learn about Hawaiian culture or Polynesian culture, I find it fascinating. Like I love the fact that they are so family orientated. Everything is about family. Everything is about ohana. Everything is like just revolving around that. And the fact that they are always so tied to their ancestors. Not to say that Hispanic people aren't, because there's a lot of Hispanic cultures that are. Personally, I'm not that dude. So even maybe if I was born Hawaiian, maybe it still wouldn't give a fuck about who my ancestors were. Maybe that, you know.
But you would have been raised in Hawaii. Dope.
Yeah. So I
like if he's talking Polynesian, he could also
be Samoan.
Yeah.
You know what an interesting one for me would be that's getting more attention now and is very interesting, and because I love one aspect of it and I would love to be included in to do one of these days is the Maori in New Zealand and do hakas. I just imagine you were raised with a haka.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's in the Polynesian.
I was like, that's dope.
That shit is so dope.
Yes,
I sent Missy a video of it today. Like Sports Center posted like a video like of all these sporting events
of a bunch of teams, and it's just so fucking dope. I would love to like. Did you guys ever see that video of the wedding haka that went like super duper viral? Like that shit. It would scare the shit out of my family. So even better, like, yes.
Well, that's the thing, is that it doesn't scare the shit out of them. Like if I fell into like a deep dive, that video is of this wedding couple, right? Like if you haven't seen the video, listeners or viewers, it's like the family of the bride doing who's Maori or who's indigenous. They have different tribes. I don't want to just blanket statement Maori, but the in New Zealand, and she's marrying this guy. It's we'll get to why it's weird, but the family starts doing this haka, and the haka is all about like spirit and feeling safe, and it's like, you know,
it's
a cry, it's a prayer, essentially.
Yes.
It's a prayer, it's like a poem, and it's as like almost like a gift to the people who hear it. Yeah, like a blessing. So that's why they get all emotional. Even like the women get involved. It's not just a men thing. The women have hakas too, cool. And they start getting into it. And I'm doing all of the hand motions like I'm like, you know, like and because I love that shit. It's so dope, and it's also like true, like a real connection to something that was also done, you know, who knows how many thousands of years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was feeling too. That's
like thing. Direct. But here's the weird part: the fact is that the Mormons have invaded New Zealand. Did you guys know that?
No.
There's so many Mormons in New Zealand that this was a documentary about Mormons living in New Zealand. That's where that video is from. I researched it. I was like, no,
it's very
damn
hilly.
It.
It's very hilly. How do they ride their bikes on the?
They're super strong legs. They're super strong Mormon legs.
Listen,
But anyways, that's how the question came up. That's how
that's
the idea came up. I was like, man, I would have loved to have been born Hawaiian or like been like and then I started thinking, I'm like, man, there's like a lot of culture. Like, I have a friend who's like super deep into Japanese culture. Like he is like one step away from doing that thing. What's that word? Or cultural appropriations.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm like, you may want to step back a little bit. You may want to not wear the kimono right now. But like I don't even know if that's a bad thing, really. Like
wearing the kimono or the what's the other name for it? The robe. That wearing that robe is not called. They actually those are the gifts that like people from Japan give.
Yeah. But what my point is, like you know, I don't know, to get into somebody else's culture, to get in, you know, be
right.
I don't know. So I don't want to say invade, but like to get into it, to be like, oh, to learn and be like, oh, this is really cool. I like this what your culture does or whatever. I thought it was super dope.
Yeah, you know, it does come into play. Like you even if you, so like, let's say your friend is super into Japanese culture, but for like the respectful reasons, because there's a lot of really creepy reasons to be into it. But it's just into it as like he's just identified. I loved it when I went over there. I identified with. I've always been interested in Japan because it just feels like such a different world. The language looks different. Visually, it's so different. And that's where all the video games came from when I was a kid, and all of these cool new cartoons. I appreciate it. But if you go over that, what point, like let's say I marry a Japanese girl, your friend marries a Japanese girl, and their family fully embrace you, you know, like, hey, yeah, please be a part of our family, and you do all the traditional things, and you're praying at temples and Shinto and all of that stuff. You'll still forever be an outsider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, Missy has talked about that in the past. How she is, her dad is Cuban, her mom is from Chile, and she doesn't feel right. Missy, I don't want to speak for you. But
well, that's like an issue. In my list of issues, it's very, very bottom ranked, but that's like an issue that I've always had where to my Chilean family, I stick out like a sore thumb because I'm Cuban, so they like always kind of passive aggressively joking about it. Cubans won't acknowledge me as a Cuban at all because I'm a half breed, and then the country that I was born in, and to my face,
they don't. They really. That's
you're
not
Indian. You're not Cuban. Wow. Oh, and then my favorite was, well, the Cuban side is of your dad, and he left. So.
Oh, wow. Well, I have a question. Is it Cuban or is it Miami Cuban?
I wouldn't know. I don't know anything about my dad.
No, but you weren't raised Cuban. Like you weren't raised in Chile either, right?
No, I wasn't.
You're from Miami.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't raised. I'm not Cuban at all by any way, except that I grew up in Miami, so I feel as if I have a somewhat of a connection to Cuban Miami. Very different than actual Cuba, because I've been to actual Cuba and I'm like, this is different.
Yep.
These people are different here than over there. These people
I'm telling you, Miami Cubans need to stop referring to themselves as purely Cuban because they're not. They're not
purely thing. But yeah, so anyways, let's go through some before we get lost here. Let's go through some comments. Yolanda chooses England. She says, I like castles.
She likes castles and old shit.
That's right, yeah.
Would also be born there.
She was born there. She was
born there.
Her family, her dad was in the military, Air Force.
Anya Val says, I want to go to France, Germany, and see castles.
Hey, that runs in the family. All I wanted to do was see fucking castles and old
They're
churches.
Fucking dope.
Hey man,
so cool.
We went to San Francisco, and then when you go to Napa Valley, there's a winery that is a castle, and I literally chose to go to that one because I don't give a fuck about wine. Strictly for the fucking castle.
Yeah,
man.
bro. I want a culture of castles.
Yeah. Vanessa says that's what we did in my family a few years ago. 3-week road trip up and down Italy. Shut up. She didn't take
me.
That's
where she learned how to say all Italian words correctly.
Right. She didn't take me. My wife. That was my wife.
That was your wife that didn't take you to Italy.
3 weeks. Just left me here with the fucking kids. Hilda says, true, my family is Spanish and own a bakery in Leon. They're closed for 4 hours midday each day to spend time at home before returning to the bakery.
Look at that.
Lots of family time.
Yeah,
Who doesn't need a 4-hour break in the middle of the day?
Yeah,
Yes,
for 4 hours
please.
to go see our family. I don't know about that.
No, I mean I would leave them behind. I would find a new family.
Vanessa, that's great. He would Vanessa about Neri. He would have been raised in Hawaii and staying inside playing PS4 the whole time.
However, the backdrop to my PS4 playing would be fucking beautiful.
It would look like this.
Great option. Yolanda agrees with Hawaii is a great option. And Jeff says, Missy, I share the Haka videos. Missy and I share Haka videos.
Oh, send them to me too. Please, Jeff, send them to me because that's how I describe my my masculinity. Crying at Haka videos.
Oh,
that's my masculinity. Like when I want, like it doesn't even matter. It could be like when the All Blacks, you know, the rugby team does the fucking Haka before each game, and I'm like watching that, and I'm just like, oh, God, so powerful. Ugh.
I'm sorry.
I don't have that reaction.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The what?
The All Blacks is what it's called.
Okay. All right.
That's the name of the team.
That's the name of the team.
All right, 300 is where we get canceled. All right. I know it's just play on words. Yeah, Missy had a different reaction when I was working on cruise ship. I would get the rugby channel, right, and all the time, and we would FaceTime, and she would ask me to FaceTime just so that I could show her. Like she wouldn't even want to see my face. Like flip the camera around so I could just show her the introduction to the rugby games.
Those boys are
matches.
sick.
The matches.
Okay.
I do think that rugby should be more popular in the United States than it is.
Yes.
It's fucking dope. I mean, I haven't had somebody sit down and explain it to me. It's very similar to Kill the Man with the Ball. And
it is for us to. It is literally Kill the Man with the Ball, but there's like goals.
I haven't heard that in the longest time. Kill the Man with the Ball.
That was the game that you would just like do kill the man with the ball and then you throw it at someone you hated. You're like, fuck that kid. It's like, oh, we're playing kill the man with the ball. And then you're like, where's Kevin? And then you like throw him the ball and it's like,
oh, now poor bastard was probably like, man, I'm so popular. They always want to toss me the ball.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I want to play. We're playing kill the man with the ball. No. But seriously, like rugby should. Like if rugby replaced football in terms because of CTE, you know what I mean? Like because there's a lot of talks in the NFL, like genuinely, like there's less players now in college and high school and little kid levels. People are keeping their kids from playing because of.
I'm not letting my kids play.
Yeah. And one of the things that they say about rugby is that even though there's the injuries they're not wearing as many pads. That means that you're not throwing yourself at higher speeds because you have the pads and you think you're going to be safe. Correct. So you're not taking as many head hits. You're not taking as many
false sense of security that you think.
Yeah. So it's interesting. Like my approach to like if people think that football is too dangerous, I was like, well, take the helmets away, take the pads away, you know, and then you just got.
People have said that before. People have said that before. They that guy there's a scientist when the whole they've said that before. I'm down. I like. Don't get me wrong. I like watching all these sports that I don't participate in and won't participate in.
Right.
Yeah, bro, fucking kill yourself. I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. It's fucking great. I
loved it. I loved football, man. I loved it.
I'll watch it from here and it'd be great. It's fantastic. But yeah, I thought that was I don't know, like I like different rugby. I think you're right. Should be a lot more popular than it is now.
I would love for it to be more popular.
And then we have to do different hakas for each team.
My favorite line.
Wait, but if we do a haka, that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, that is
right?
cultural
okay.
appropriation.
I just checking in case
have you seen the video where Missy turned me onto this one where at a premiere a reporter asked Jason Momoa to do the haka. And his wife Lisa Bonet stepped in and was like, "No, he's not."
No.
Like she was like, "No, he's
Why?"
not." Because she was asking to do it like, "Hey, dance monkey, dance," and he was like,
"Oh,
like a red carpet correspondent."
Oh,
was like, hey, the haka, you love it. Why don't you do one now? And did that, and Lisa Bonet was like, "No."
I did not see that video, but yeah, you're right. It is kind of shitty to just be like, awkward, "Dance,"
but it's like that's a form of. It's a spiritual practice for them.
Hey, show me how you pray. Why don't you show me?
Nobody goes, hey, what are you wearing? Oh, cool. Pray a rosary. Like that would never fucking happen on a red carpet. Why would you do that? But that was just like that.
That does seem like something Colin Farrell would do, though. That does.
Colin Farrell?
Yeah, he's like ultra fucking Catholic. Are you kidding me? He's like super Catholic.
Oh, I didn't know he was that cat. But it's also like it's like
Colin Farrell.
He's Irish.
Yeah, he's Irish, dude. He's Irish.
Irish people don't like
yeah, they are. They're super Catholic.
No,
depending on which part of Ireland
you're. He's a strictly Catholic dude. Is what I'm.
He's a cultural Catholic, I would say. Like he doesn't. He's not practicing.
No, I think it's the same thing as every other Catholic that I've never known. Is you're Catholic until you want to see a hot chick that you want to fuck, and then you're like, I'll be right back. You're like, I'll be right back.
I mean, I'm Catholic, but you can use birth control. I can't wear a condom, but you give me a birth control.
But if you spit, that's on you.
That's the Catholicism in me.
You're going to hell. I'm not.
This took a turn.
Well, it's funny, because I didn't think about that, but if you go, it is a form, since it is it is not even technically, it is a form of prayer.
It is.
If you go, if someone Muslim was walking down the red carpet and you're like, well, that way's east. Show me what you got.
Show me what you got.
I got this rug here.
Yeah. Show.
Let's see.
Perform.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know.
It's a good turn on the red carpet. But you know what? Props to Lisa Bonet for being like ride or die for her man. I love that.
Lisa Bonet is the best. She's
literally
dope. She should be more famous in America than she's.
I don't think she wants to be.
I know she doesn't have to be.
Honestly,
yeah, she doesn't want to teach
a class. Whatever class she teaches, I want to take.
Be hot,
Missy. What did you say? This is the best comment when I was showing her the guys playing rugby, the rugby guys. What was the phrase that you said?
These boys are thick.
And then what'd you say?
What did I say?
What did you say right after these boys are thick?
I don't remember. What did I say?
These boys are thick. If you gotta go, that's the way I gotta go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if I'm gonna die, I would love to die that way.
Death by snoo. No, it's not even sexual. She just wants to get tackled really hard, till her head. I know. I'm making the gig. It's a gag that I'm
going with the gig. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so
it's like, yeah, give me that forearm to the throat.
I have the ball. Come kill me.
Yeah. Yes.
Look, there's two balls there. What
kind of comments are we getting for this? I'm interested. What does Yolanda have to say about this?
Yolanda says Dad wants to build a hut and live in Fiji.
There you go.
And
that sounds good.
Vanessa says, yes, take me with you. Oh, please.
Yo,
God.
Vanessa's ready to go wherever the fuck you're going. She told me about this tattoo guy that I went with her one time in Orlando, and he's opening up his book. So I want to book something with him because I want to get a tattoo. And I'm like, she's like, road trip. And I'm like, I'm probably going to book in April. She's like, so? And I'm like, you're gonna have a third kid in April. And she's like, what about the children? She's like, who? And I was like, okay, maybe we should.
Someone think of the children.
Oh shit, Yolanda here. I survived thickness.
That might be a t-shirt idea.
I survived.
I survived thickness.
This is a better response.
I love her so much.
I survived thickness.
I survived thickness. You know, it's unisex because a guy could wear that and a girl could wear that. So
I survived thickness, man. That's a good t-shirt idea.
That's a good.
Oh, I love that.
Yolanda, we all rights reserved. Trademark.
We came up with it first.
Yeah, you did it on our show and it's ours now.
Oh man, you know what I saw? I saw this clip, and I'm not trying to take away the idea or whatever, but I saw this clip on a podcast where somebody asked if you met you, but like every characteristic and every personality trait that you have, good and or bad, in the opposite sex or whatever gender you prefer, how long would you? First of all, would you date yourself? And then how long do you think that relationship would last? If you met like everything about you. So for me, for example, it'd be super sarcastic. It'd be fucking, you know what I mean? Like that type of.
Oh, not physically, because I don't want to. I'm not my type.
In fact, it was either way. It would be. In fact, what they said on that podcast, and I forget. I wish I could give them credit, but what they said is it would be a super attractive body, but it would be your personality.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're just gonna skate over the fact that Mike said he's not not his body type.
I'm not my type. You know what I mean? Like that's why like there's a lot
Singing
of like
to the choir, my friend, singing to the choir.
There's a lot of like people who have. I saw this post one time and it really did hurt my brain. This was like a couple years ago, where it's like you people who you find yourself unattractive, like you think of yourself as like I'm gross, whatever. It's like, don't worry, you're not your type. You know what I mean? Like you're not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be attracted to, or because I am a cis het male. I'm just a straight guy. Then who likes women. Like I would not go after me or find me attractive as a date, as a romantic interest. So there's a lot of that going on in your head when you look in the mirror and you're like, ugh.
Physically.
Yeah, I wouldn't be physically attracted to myself, and even if I did look the way I wanted to look, like if I was shredded, I still wouldn't be attracted to myself.
In 2020, I've gained like a huge amount of weight. I'm gross right now, but prior to that, I've always
You're
been
a nice guy.
Prior to that, wow,
no, I was trying to help.
That is the worst fat guy thing to say.
I was trying to help. I do this all the time.
Oh no.
So
she
just confirmed everything I said. So, but prior to 2020, I've always been fat, but I've never this is a whole different level of fat right now.
You called yourself disgusting, and I was trying to help you.
So before 2020, my point is before 2020, all my life I've always been fat, but I was never like the grotesque fat guy. I was just like, oh, he's just a fat guy, and I would always attract women who were very large, and I'm like, that's not my type. Yeah. So it would be that type of thing where I'm like, I'm not attracted to me, I guess. Like there was.
But are we talking? Is the question like physically or like
no,
your personality?
The question is not physical. The question is not physical at all. We got into this conversation because Mike brought it to physical, like he always does.
Well, I was just asking. No, as a joke, I said that I'm not my type, and then you went on, and I was like, I was fine with that.
No, so the question is, would you date yourself personality wise? If your personality, your exact personality, with all your quirks, all your everything. If it was in a body that you are attracted to, very attracted to, so would you date that person? And how long do you think you guys would last?
It would end violently in 3 years.
Jesus, that was a fast answer, yeah. Michael.
Well, he's asking like I haven't thought about this before.
What?
No, I'm kidding. I genuinely think that I don't know. So like if I'm very attracted to a person, like let me see, how do I phrase this? If someone is very conventionally attractive, right? Whether or not I find them attractive or not is not the key. If they are like universal, like someone who's a universally attractive.
Megan Fox.
No, I don't like Megan Fox. But
that's one.
Yeah, so like let's say someone who
Sofia Vergara, everyone loves her.
Perfect. Yeah, she's
Hayek, you two fuckers love
I love Salma Hayek. Salma Hayek's a perfect example. Fine.
You two when you meant everybody on earth.
Everybody on earth for the last 50 however many years.
You two. Just me and Mike. Me and Mike are the ones holding up the Salma Hayek fandom. Yeah. We're the ones holding that shit up.
If she comes on my feed and
her husband is like, ugh, get Mike and Nary in here.
No, if she comes up on my Instagram feed, one of you two have already liked that picture. That's why I said you two for sure.
Well, I mean, that's why you set alerts to whenever she posts a new post.
You ring that bell, baby. Yeah. You ring that bell. Turn on notifications.
Okay, so she's universally attractive. Go on.
Right. So someone who's like conventionally attractive, someone who's just good looking. And I've been in a situation where their actions or something about their personality has completely shut that down, right? Like, I think everybody's been in that position where someone's like, oh, that person's hot. And then you hear them talk to people or, you found out they were a bitch or something, and then it's like.
Or you find out who they voted for.
Or you find out who they voted for. That's a big one. And then, so
really,
suddenly.
I was joking around. I don't think that would stop me from fucking somebody, but go ahead.
Not again. We established, not again. So the idea of like the suddenly like attraction comes and goes depending on personality more than people realize.
I agree. And especially when you get older. When you're in your 20s, you're willing to let a lot of personality shit go.
Yeah, man, I'm almost 40, dude. Things are very different than when I was in my 20s.
So, so you think you would date yourself for 3 years? Is that how you would think it?
No. I definitely think that. I think we could. You know what? Because it's like, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I'm bad in relationships. I'm good in relationships. The problem is, like, you know,
we have some guests that say otherwise. Please welcome to the show.
Who? I would love to talk to them. Who is it?
We have Sunshine. Please welcome Sunshine.
She was great. She was phenomenal. Awesome. Yeah, she was great.
She's the one. I remember I even told you then. Like, I'm thinking about breaking up with her. I'm like, this is gonna be the one I always point back to and be like,
yeah, no, you're right.
And I literally said that. I'm like, this is gonna be the one you point back to and say, you're an idiot. I'm going to call you an idiot for the rest of your life. Right?
Well, sure, but you call me an idiot anyway. But the idea of like of then being like trying it out, like, I think if those personality traits are the ones that are in there also, you know, like I'm stubborn sometimes. I have my negative traits. I have all of, you know, like I'm dealing with my own mental health.
Yeah,
stuff.
no, we have a list. Pull up the PDF.
Yeah. We're gonna do a screen share of my my therapist's notes.
Yeah, we shared notes.
Yeah.
And then can you pull up that PDF? Can you rotate it, please?
Rotate that PDF.
Oh my god! Take the PDF.
This episode of Star Trek City, baby.
Okay, go ahead, Michael.
No. The only thing I was gonna say is that, like, to finish my point, is that she would have those same characteristics, even good and bad. So I feel like my good outweighs my bad. So it would be like we would work through whatever it is. So I don't know. I can't speculate, but I know I have no problem dating that kind of person if I'm thinking of the way I am in relationships, you know.
Missy, would you be able to date yourself?
I think so, yeah. Personality wise, yeah, for sure. I think I've made it an effort to I've made it a dedicated effort to be way more emotionally intelligent than I was raised, and to kind of work through my own bullshit so that I can regulate and manage relationships a lot better than I could have like a couple years ago. So I think, yeah, I would like right now I would definitely date myself, and I have my shit together.
Yeah, not me in my 20s. I would not have dated. No. That would not have
me
worked.
5 years ago, but me now, I have my shit together, you know, except for like one or two things. But like, I think that in any relationship, I think if you're emotionally intelligent enough to understand that when there's disagreements, it's like you two against the disagreement, not you two against each other, you could last like however long you want to last.
It's not you versus me. It's us against the problem.
That is an accurate statement, I think. But a lot of times that doesn't work out in relationships because you're just like, you.
If a girl I was dating busted out some of that dumb bullshit that I say, and I'd be like, oh my God, I love you so much. Tell me again about it's us versus the problem, please. I'd be like, that's great.
Also, I also know a lot. Like I'm super passionate about mental health, and I understand my own mental health. So I feel like that's something that I would love to have in a partner. So that, you know, we take turns pulling each other out if you're like going through something. So I don't know. I would date myself.
So
I don't know, because I'm not into women. So I think I look great now, but I don't know that I would want to date myself like physically.
No, physically. We're not talking about physically. Right. My daughter is very much like me, personality wise. Very much. She's 9 years old, and she's helped me realize that when I heard this question, I was like, I don't think I could ever date somebody like me.
Wow.
I'm way too pedantic. So fucking pedantic. It is. I don't realize that I'm doing it. I don't. People think that.
What?
People think that, people, meaning my wife and close friends of mine, they think I'm doing it on purpose to be funny. And I'm not saying that I don't. I'm not saying that never happens, but I'm saying 90% of the time, I don't realize that I'm doing that. And I literally have caught myself a multitude of times within the last year. And I say the last year because I just learned what pedantic meant.
Oh, shit. You beat me to the joke. I was like, well, we all know what pedantic means. So why don't you tell the listener
So my wife explained that to me, and I was like, "What?" Like she called me pedantic, and I was like, "Yeah." And then I pulled out the supercomputer and Googled what pedantic was.
Google machine.
And what's pedantic for the listeners? What's pedantic, Missy? Can you Google? Can you give me the exact definition?
Sure.
So they're very literal in their interpretations.
Yes, so very literal, and then they can't let.
Actually, so this is the Webster's Dictionary definition. I'm not making it up.
Right.
Pedantic is an insulting word used to describe someone who annoys others by correcting small errors, caring too much about minor details, or emphasizing their own expertise, especially in some narrow or boring subject matter. That last part, no.
The last part is not me because I have zero expertise in anything.
But the other stuff,
everything else. No, I'm being honest. So my wife taught me this. It was during the quarantine. It was during the pandemic, and she taught me this. And she was like, "That's you. You're pedantic." And I'm like, "What?" And then I Googled it. What the fuck it meant? And I was like, "I have zero arguments for this. Like, I could not come back from this." And I didn't know this. I didn't know this word, what it meant. But when I found out what it meant, I'm like, "Oh, this describes me to the fucking T." I can't let shit go. And it was a few months earlier when I was hanging out with a friend of mine, Don Gray. He was on episode 290.
Oh yeah,
Don, and I did something that was very much me, which very much pedantic, and I corrected him or something, and he looked at me and he laughed and he said, "Can you ever just let one go?"
No.
And I was like, no, I don't think I can. I don't think I can. And I don't do it on purpose. Again, I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. I don't do it on purpose. But when my wife pointed it out to me, I was like, oh, and now my daughter is showing signs of that, like left and right. Like, oh my God, hey, let's get to bed. It's 8 o'clock already. No, it's 7:52. And you're like, yeah, okay, we get it, but it's not what we're saying. It's about to be 8, but it's not at 7:52. Like I was like, oh,
you got to throw her off with estimate language. Hey, it's almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah. So it's no, it's not. It's 7:52. There's 8 more minutes. That's not almost. Like she'll say shit like that, and you're like, oh my God. So I've learned. So when I heard this question, would you date yourself? And I was like, I don't have a problem with my sarcasm. My wife sometimes does. I love my sarcasm. I'm fine with that. Like again, and I'm thinking about the negatives because it's easy to fucking focus on the positives and be like, I have a good sense of humor and I'm nice and I can treat you to dinner and that's fine. But I'm trying to look at the negatives and what people have pointed out my sarcasm as negative. I don't think it's a negative to me. To me, it's a positive. So I'm looking at all of that. I'm like, no, I could, I like that. I like this. I like that. But the pedantic, I'm like, I don't think I could get away. I can't. I can't. That's too much. I'm too much for myself. And again, I don't do it on purpose. So I'm being honest.
I don't think you do either, to your credit. I think it's just, but there have been times when we've talked. Yeah. When we talk and he's pointing something out, and I'm like, that was an opportunity for you to let that one go.
Ooh. Yeah. No, and it's
such a nice, but you're so nice, or whatever. What was the thing that she said?
No, I've been trying to be his hype man all day. Unfortunately, I just died like 10 minutes ago because I do that shit sometimes. But I've been his like cheerleader all day.
No, but you're so nice. Good.
That last part, that happens to me though. Can I tell the but why story real quick?
The but why?
Yeah.
But why?
There's a but why. This will make sense in a second. So the same day that I went with Vanessa, Neri's wife, to get her tattoo, it was in Orlando. So we stopped at that fucking
doesn't matter. It's a rest stop.
Fort Pierce, whatever, the one that everybody stops at. So we stop at the thing, and we're going into the bathroom, and there's a poster that says "Stop Child Trafficking," and my head, I swear to God, my head, or whatever you believe, you're a nerd, swear to nothing if you're an atheist.
Whatever, yeah.
I swear on everything that the complete thought in my head was, but why would you put that next to a bathroom? That was the complete thought. What actually happened is that I read it and I go, but why? And Vanessa's like, the fuck do you mean, but why? And I'm like, oh, no. That's not what I meant. I meant, but what? Like, so that shit happens to me. Like, I meant to do something nice, and then I failed off. Like,
so, like someone who's outside of your head would see you read a child trafficking, stop child trafficking, so you're like, I think not.
yes.
I'm not gonna. Well, it's capitalism, baby. Free enterprise. The invisible hand of the market will save those kids. I'm not gonna do nothing.
I have those moments all the time. It's not even a comedy bit. It's just like shit where I fuck up like that.
I'll tell you one thing. I've been more spacey, like the less I interact with the world, like because of COVID and quarantine and all that stuff, I've been less spacey, but I'm also super conscious of where a camera is now, because that's where everybody sees, like, so I'm super conscious of like when someone's holding their phone a certain way or whatever. And I've caught myself like constantly, like, or even doing like dumb shit, like when nobody's watching kind of thing. I just thought of it because like from what the outside, it must look like I'm a crazy person.
And you're not, probably. So that's where there's a disconnect.
I mean, like we all think of like, it's funny. You were talking about
like I asked a question at Neri's house this weekend, and I was like, "Hey," and they're like, "We just finished fighting about this." I was like, "Oh, I gotta go. Bye."
Ooh, yeah. No. Solve it now. Here's knives. Go. But you were talking about Neri, like these are the traits that you would see.
He froze. Mike froze.
Mike froze.
He's gonna speed up. He's gonna speed up in a little bit.
There you go. He's back.
What?
Mike, you froze for a second.
You said these are, and then you did.
These are the traits.
Oh, these are the traits that you would not be attracted to that you're talking about in your partner. Mm-hmm. That you would not find attractive in your partner. Does that motivate you?
It's not that I won't find attractive. It's that it would make me. I cancel out the positives. You get me? There's that whole thing of like, because everybody in any relationship, you have that like, oh, he or she does this, and that's super annoying. But it's not enough to cancel out the positive that they do here.
But if they have enough good things, they could cancel out one big bad thing.
I don't know. Again, it all depends on how much that one bad thing bothers you, right? So you have that logic of, and again, not to get too serious, but like, people have that logic of like, oh, he fucking he goes on.
He's a good dad. He's just a bad husband.
Yeah, he's a good dad. Yeah. Oh, he hits you, but he's a good dad. It's like, oh, wait, what? Like, there's obviously. And again, I think that's and stuff, but I just think that my never letting shit go, letting one slide. It would annoy, you know what I mean? Like I have the as a dad, when my daughter does it to me, I have the thing where I could just be like, no, that's okay, just go to your room, and that, you know what I mean? Like kind of play that. I can't do that to a significant other and being like, you're being an asshole. Okay, you're right, I was wrong.
Go to your room.
I can't. I think it's too much for me to overcome. For myself, like it's just too much.
Now, does that motivate you to change that aspect of yourself? Are you trying to
in the last year? That's what Missy was talking about. In the last year, I'm trying to make conscious effort to just but she can tell, like, and we FaceTime so much. Like, it's so rare that we don't talk face to face, even when we're on the phone. So she can tell when I'm it looks like I'm fucking swallowing a pill.
You start sweating, your face gets red, like that meme of the kid with the veins popping on his forehead. Like,
you do this, you'll be like.
It happened today in this episode. It happened today when she talked about going from Rome to Paris in 4 hours, and I was like, and I didn't say anything. And then when you stepped up and you said it, I was like, I don't think that's right. That freed me up to be like, yeah, I don't think that's right. I don't think that. Like, I had it and here.
Because here's the thing is that here's a question, I guess, on what we're talking about is like, where's the line of pedantic and mansplaining? Like, is that the same thing?
I would explain it to you, but that would just be me mansplaining.
Not if she asked you for an explanation.
Fucking joke, man. I'm going with the joke. Come on.
No, wait, hold on a second. So, like, you're saying that being pedantic, like mansplaining, is just a very misogynist form of being a pedant?
No, I'm asking you guys what your perspective, because I know when I'm being mansplained. It happened like an hour ago, like literally an hour ago. I know when it's happening to me. I'm just wondering, like, from your perspective, like where do you draw the line between pedantic and not because pedantic
draw the
is like
line,
a personality trait where Neri's like actively trying to tweak, where mansplaining, in my experience, the person that's doing it doesn't really give a fuck, doesn't even understand what the hell they're doing.
I think the difference is what Mike was kind of alluding to is that one, like, it's one thing when you, Missy, say something, or anybody, when the other person says something incorrect and I can't let it go. It's another thing where I feel I'm gonna have to explain something to you because I feel that you don't know how to. You know what I mean?
See.
Yeah.
So like it's like, it's one thing is like it's, I guess mansplaining would be a proactive pedantic. It's like, well, before you even say something wrong, let me explain to you how it is.
Right.
That I wait for you to fuck up and be like, oh no, that's wrong. That's actually
because you're like in your scenario, if I'm telling a story or when I have told a story and I'm off by some detail, you're like, no, that's not what happened. You went left, not right.
To me, honestly, that's different. I'll tell you why it's different, because that's comedically it's different, because you're leaving out comedic elements that I know.
But I don't know that I'm not a comedian.
But
he's comic-splaining to you.
That's different. Like, to me, I don't think that's pedantic. I don't consider that pedantic. And again, this is a huge flaw of mine that I've been trying to work on for the last year. But I'm telling you, when you leave out funny notes of a story, because when me and you go through something, we go through an experience, and then when later on we're explaining to my wife what happened, and you go, let me explain the story, and then you leave out funny shit, in my mind, I'm like, you leaving out punch.
Okay.
That's your.
I know exactly. It's so hard to be the person who's not telling the story when the person telling the story is telling it wrong.
Right.
And when you're on, like, because we know how to tell a story on stage, and we know how to punctuate with a joke or with some inflection.
Yes, I understand. Yeah.
And then when someone is doing it, it's like when someone tries to tell a street joke wrong.
Yeah.
It's like where you're just like, like, ugh.
What's a street joke?
That's a street joke. Is like Pepito
a priest, a nun, and a rabbi walk into a bar.
A street joke.
Like a joke that's told over and over again.
And by the way, listen, you're not the only one. My friend, my who used to be my work wife back when I had a day job, Nina, and we worked together for 6 years. And we would do that. She would do that all the time. Where her and I would go through. She would tell me something that happened to her the night before. I would play off of what she's telling me, form a joke out of what her experience was with her then boyfriend, now husband. And then when somebody else would join the group, she would try to retell the story that her and I helped create. And I was like, no, that's not the way it went.
Or you're just like,
yeah. And I would say, no, that's not the way. And then at one point, she was telling a story literally of her and her husband, or her and her boyfriend at the time, in her bedroom. And I said this, and he said that, and I said this, but she missed one of those fucking repertoires. She missed one of those comebacks. And I was like, no, that's not the way it was. She's like, what the? And then our mutual friend was like, what the fuck?
Were you there?
Bed? Like, where were you in this situation? And I was like, no, but just fucking tell it the way I told you to say it. Like, I don't understand.
Okay.
No,
so
that I totally understand.
A pet peeve. Like,
but it's
just okay. A comedy perspective. It's just a comedy perspective.
I will say one of the big elements of mansplaining is telling a woman who already knows the thing what the thing is. So, like, if a woman is like an expert in or knows whatever it is, like she's like talking about, where the big example it comes in a lot in nerd culture, where like some girl will be talking about like, oh, in Star Wars, such and such is like, oh, a guy will come in and be like, well, this is what actually was going on with that. And meanwhile, the girl's like, no, this is what's going on. You know, like, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So like, it's a big thing in terms of like it's absolutely pedantic to mansplain to someone, to mansplain to a woman. It's absolutely pedantic, but it's like a subgenre. It's like a thing because it has to do.
All fingers are thumbs, not all thumbs are fingers.
Correct.
Exactly.
So all mansplaining is pedantic, but not all.
Put that last comment from Vanessa up because that's the perfect way to explain it.
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier.
Yeah. Vanessa writes, well, actually, it's that correction.
For people in general to assume, not that I know what I'm talking about, but like, I don't need explanation, I guess, is the easiest way. There's tons of moments where I've presented my idea or presented a thought and it's like, well, prove it or some shit like that, or try to cut it down, and I cannot.
There are elements of that. Well, first of all, you don't know geography, so we got to point that out to you.
Or math or time. She doesn't know She doesn't. Missy doesn't.
Well,
know
first of all, no.
Wait. How do I not? The other two probably, but geography.
The distance between Rome and Paris.
I'm
geography. European. What am I supposed to know about that for?
But
I gotta be honest with you. I'm really bad at US geography, bro. Like people, like I've flown to Omaha and I didn't know where Omaha was until I fucking looked it up in the map while I was in Omaha. And I was like, oh, this is where Omaha. I literally thought Omaha was next to like fucking Idaho, and it's not. Like it's fucking embarrassing how bad I am at fucking national geography of my own country. Well,
I know where Omaha is.
Yeah, I did not. I know now, but I did not before. I was like, Idaho. Like, no, you're not the fucking what? No.
What I'll say about the prove it, like the mansplaining thing. What I think that happens to guys a lot, huh?
I think you're doing it now.
No. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to explain. Like,
I know you're not because I'm not annoyed and I don't want to kick something.
No. It's. I mean, we're also on a fucking show where we're talking. The element that the key element in all of that is like, expectation, right? So like, I don't know, like if a woman says something in this like hostile, like something contradictory or something to like what someone's line of thinking is, it's very because of like patriarchy and because of the society, it's very easy for a man to shut that person down. But you said something about prove it. Like if you say something, someone's like, oh, well, prove it. I disagree that that's invalid. Like if someone's asking you to prove something you said, or like, well, why do you think that way? Not like a dick, but if someone's like, wait, why do you think that way? Because I disagree. And like, oh no, I disagree because of such and such. That's not mansplaining, and that's not really rude. What I do think it happens with men even in friend groups. There's so much. It's like rejection from it. Like men, like there's like a certain amount of combativeness in the way that that is generally thought of as like male communication. And to prove it or whatever, to because of the gender patriarchy and all that stuff, it does come off as like aggressive, but it doesn't mean it's invalid. I'll say there's a nice way to do it.
Well, I think that honestly, it's like this is mansplaining. I think is something that's super, super subjective because I'm somebody that like if I don't know something and you do and you want to tell me about it, like I'm in.
Yeah.
But it all depends on your tone. It all depends on how you're approaching it because I guess it's like something that it's happening to you. Like you only know it's happening when it's happening to you, I guess is that kind of thing.
It's like
so it's super subjective. So like where if I were like I think there was one episode of Geek Mode where I was talking about how like the big reveal in Winter Soldier was like everyone was shocked and everybody on the panel was like, actually no, we all fucking knew it was coming. I was like, oh really? I didn't know that. Like that's a learning moment. Like I didn't know that. But like if I go and try to talk about Marvel Universe now and somebody tries to talk like do this to me, like stop it. Like I know what I'm fucking talking about. You know what I mean? So that
it has to do with intent. It's intent.
It has intention. Yeah.
Let's go to the comments because we gotta get to I'm my asshole. Let's get to the comments. Let's see here. Vanessa says send her a free T-shirt.
We should. I'm telling you, I Survived Thickness is a legit good idea.
I don't know what you're burning about.
No, the burn that was when Missy called you a nice guy.
When I said you're a nice guy.
Disgusting. No, but you're so nice.
Or they off the top of Christmas trees. That's a good story, but I don't have time to tell it right now. But it's a fantastic story. The spreadsheet was for when we
my flaws.
The flaws. And then my wife chimes in and says, "You're a lot of work."
She's not wrong. She's not wrong.
I think every human being's a lot of work, right?
Everybody's a lot
of work. And
the second I can put all of my good traits and bad traits into a hot woman, then we'll see what happens.
If you Google pedantic, there's a picture of Neri. I just hope it's not the fatter Neri or the nice guy Neri.
Nice guy Neri.
Hilda says, "Have you guys ever watched New Girl?" Which is hilarious, Hilda, because me and Missy and my wife are fucking infatuated with the show New Girl. We watch it constantly on rotation. Hilda says, my personality is basically super awkward and nerdy, like Jess, with a love of board games and superheroes. I wonder every day how my husband fell for me.
Because you're awesome.
I think you're describing how he felt for you because
Yeah.
you are nerdy and you have a love for board games and superheroes. And I think that's like, I don't understand.
That's it.
It's funny to me how women are like, I don't know how I ever met a guy. All I like to do is play sports and play video games. And you're like, yeah, what?
That's what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all I do is like things that every guy likes. I'm like, yeah, no, that's it. That's how
Hilda's great. Hilda, when I first moved up to New York, like she was up here, I think for Comic-Con, visiting a friend or something like that. And yeah, it was super fun. Yeah, Hilda's great. She's got like a huge Hilda, comment in the thing if you're still here, but how many board games do you have? Because she's got like a bazillion. She's got so many that like weird deep cut shit too. Like she's got a huge collection.
Jeff has that. Jeff does that.
Jeff and Christy's game
like,
board,
hey, look,
game.
there's a game where you get to like kill Hitler, and you're like, what? What's going on?
Oh wow, okay. It's like, yeah, you construct a time machine. It's like in the game, no, for real. You know, I was like, whoa.
Vanessa said that she tried to be helpful today too, and she says that I shot her down. No, she used very bad wording. That was like,
we're not going to air your spousal.
We're not going to get into detail. We're not going to get into detail. But like, I like the fact that she's blaming me for the. You know what I mean, like when Missy said, "Oh, but you're a nice guy," and she basically confirmed that I'm super fat. But she didn't say, "No, Mary, you're the one to blame. You shot me down." She says, "That's not what I was trying to say.
I fucked
you gotta
up.
take it out of context." Right? My wife says, "No, he shot me down. He fucking
enough of your spousal crap."
So how's it going? Third trimester.
Mike says,
"I'm explaining. It's different."
I'm explaining. Yeah. I feel like that's a loophole because I'm not a professional, so I don't know when I'm telling a story wrong. But it's still annoying.
It's hard
in the moment.
Yeah.
Look at Izu. I love this dude.
Yeah.
Izu is one of the OG fans of the show from day fucking one.
Yay.
And he says late to the party.
I love it.
300th episode, which again is a callback to what the original name of the show was for 2 episodes. Shout out to you, Izu. Thank you, man. I love you, bro. Hilda says my library is about 400.
400.
Game night.
You know,
yeah, man.
I was gonna make
game night. Like,
I was gonna make a joke and say, do you think she has more board games than I have Funkos? But I think we're at the same number, man. I think we're at about the same. I lost count, but I think last time I lost count, I was like in the high 300s. But as far as how many Funkos I have, like, do you think I was gonna make the joke before she gave the number. Say, oh, do you think Mike? Because he said, oh, she has a bunch of board games. I was gonna ask, do you think she has as many board games as I have Funkos?
I don't know. I've never seen physically her collection, but I also got to admit that like the Funkos, as nice a collectible as they are, and I'm not a collector, so it's hard for me to gauge. The games like are different in that you can actually like play them. You know, like they function. Well, and they're also bigger. They're also like bigger.
You could play with Funkos. You just look like Darth Helmet.
Yeah,
you look like that. Like, did you see anything? No, sir. I didn't see you playing with your dog. All right, Ken. Jeff says, don't add Christy to that. He owns all the board games. Those are all his.
Well,
nobody else.
Shout out Hilda. Yeah,
Neri is fat as a
not fat. There you go.
Not fat. Pretty hot and tempting. Just trying to get through the comments before we get to the I'm at the asshole. Hilda says, I basically turned our dining room into a game room. You can see the games we play on Instagram at Tabletop
Gamer Girl.
Tabletop Gamer Girl on Instagram.
Is that I was gonna ask, is that Instagram? Is that a website? What is that? Is that
I play on Instagram at Tabletop Gamer Girl. So that's her
Instagram handle.
Yeah, great. That's so good. I definitely like they're in Orlando, so like whenever I down in that area again, I want to go play games at their game room.
Yolanda says is asking if I have the SNL Dick in a Box Funko. Yolanda, I don't. Here's the thing about my Funko collection. It's very erratic in the sense of I don't care to collect quote unquote rare ones. I collect what I want. I don't finish sets just for the sake of finishing sets. If I buy, just to give an example, if I buy a Black Panther one, I wasn't the hugest fan of that movie, So I will buy a Black Panther one, but I don't need a M'Baka one. I don't care to have. I don't need to finish out the collection. I'm just giving an example. And so with that said, Yolanda, I wasn't the biggest fan of the SNL digging a box thing because I was way late to that fucking party. Super late to that party.
Not as late as me with 300.
Yeah, right. Do you want to go to Am I the Asshole?
Am I the asshole?
Do you have
Yeah. Which one are you doing?
I'm gonna do there's one, well, the one I sent.
Yeah,
the most recent one, I guess.
All right.
Am I the asshole for asking my roommate to be more polite toward my guests? Wait for it, because it sounds like, yeah, of course you should want your roommate to be polite. So I, a 20-year-old female, live with air quotes or quote Erica, 27 female. She's usually nice and cleans up after herself and all that stuff, but we had an issue recently. Last week, a guy, Josh, 21 male, I'm seeing, came over sometime in the evening. When he arrived, she was in the kitchen cooking up some kind of curry. Josh and I went up to my room almost right away, and once we got up there, he sort of awkwardly said that he absolutely hates the smell of curry, can't really be around it because it makes him want to barf, and he had to leave. The last time before, when Josh slept over, apparently Erica was blowing her nose an ungodly number of times in the morning. He could hear it because her room shares a wall with the bathroom, and it grossed him out a ton. Apparently, he also heard her fart super loud. Apparently, he also heard her farts are funny every time. Super loud when he went to the bathroom late at night once too. At night is sleeping? Whatever. Basically, he thinks she's super gross, and as a result, we can barely stand to be at our house. We've actually had discussions about getting serious, but he said the Erica thing was holding him back from it, since he didn't feel like he could date me if he didn't think I had the kind of friends he'd want to be friends with or set up with his friends. Interesting. That's a horribly written sentence, but interesting. This morning, Josh came over and Erica was hard boiling eggs. And again, that must mean the farts smell. The eggs is the key. The kitchen smelled like farts and he had to leave. And then this is where it starts to get. I'm going to blast through this. I confronted Erica about trying to be a little less loud, cook less smelly food all the time, because I feel like it's really rude toward Josh that she's literally making him so uncomfortable that he needs to drive back to his house 25 minutes away and waste all that gas. Yeah. To my surprise, Erica, who is normally calm and polite, I've never seen her mad before, even when I accidentally ruined some of her expensive kitchen stuff. She didn't even ask me to pay for it because accidents happen. Got really angry and said that she wasn't going to adjust her whole life for random people that I'm sleeping with. I was really hurt by the random people comment because it's not like I'm sleeping. Yeah, it's not like I'm sleeping with different strangers all the time, and told her all the things Josh had said about her just being generally disgusting, like the nose blowing sounds and the farting. And she said her bodily functions were going to happen like it or not. Right? Damn, hell yeah. I was still hurt, and I told her it was no wonder she was still single at her age, 27 at her age, that she couldn't show basic respect to other people, and also said the thing Josh said about not wanting to be serious with me because he thinks I surround myself with bad/impolite people. Erica then said, the reason he isn't committing to you has nothing to do with me. It's because you're gullible enough to believe him when he feeds you crap like that. Once again, I am not changing my life or magically stopping my body functions because of someone who has not said more than 2 words to me at a time. I basically just walked away crying at how much it had escalated, and now I'm posting here. Can we just say that Erica is dope? Like, just standing up for your fucking self. This is my house. He don't pay rent here. I'm a fart all I want. Hard-boiled egg farts.
I think this is the first time we're all going to agree who the asshole is. Is that going to happen?
So this is one of those things where there are multiple ways she fucked up doing this. She meaning the poster, right?
Poster, right. Because remember, we're going the literal post. That's
literal,
all we can know.
But she approached it and she said, hey, can you stop doing some of the gross things because it bothers my boyfriend? What she should have done is says it bothers me. Because I'm the one that lives here and I pay rent. For her to say, can you stop being gross because it bothers somebody who doesn't pay rent, is basically what she said.
Right.
Erica was right in saying
I could give a fuck.
I give a fuck about this guy. I am with her 1,000% with Erica, 1,000% in the fact that that's not the reason why this guy's not getting serious with you. I'm sorry.
Also, I think that I disagree with what you're saying about how she should have approached it, because I feel like if I'm dating somebody and they're gonna out the gate start trashing my friends, that's a red flag for me. Because
no, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're gonna approach your roommate because it bothers your boyfriend, how your roommate is, don't bring up your boyfriend to the roommate. Don't say, hey, can you change for my boyfriend? Why would your roommate change for your boyfriend who doesn't pay rent there?
Yeah,
I don't think you should have even talked to her about it.
That's another conversation. If you're gonna bring it up and say, hey, this grosses me out. If this grosses
I guess, yeah, if you're gonna bring it up, the strategy was fucking off for sure.
Yeah. That dude is also an asshole. Yeah, that dude's an asshole. Because there's clearly an issue with so I also don't let's gloss over the passively racist, some kind of curry. I mean, like stinky food or cooking curry or whatever. Like that's I'm wondering where these people are from.
No,
you know,
I would not racist. Their fucking curry stinks.
It's okay
to say that. It's okay. That's not racist to say some kind of curry.
I'm curious to see where this is from, because if this is in the UK, it's a very racist comment. There's a thing that if this, it's like it can be considered like calling an ethnic food as smelling bad or whatever like that.
No, but she's not saying that it's bad, that it smells bad because he's Indian. She's saying that this girl was making some kind of curry and it stunk. There's nothing racist about that. You're reading too much into that one.
Maybe.
Yeah, she's just saying. So she said some kind of curry.
She's super specific about the foods that she posts, like curry and then hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, that's
like she's trying to paint a 3-dimensional picture for
but she's
trying to scratch a sniff. She's got
vision.
She's trying to but here's okay, so in terms of forgetting all about that, but in terms of her argument, she's putting these things up like, oh, could you believe how this stinky food, it's her fucking house. You know what I mean? Like it's her house.
Can I just say it's her house too?
Yes.
Because that's the thing, man. When you live with a roommate, you have to be able to say there has to be common respecting boundaries where you have to be able to say like this. It's that with that logic of like, oh, it's my house. It's my, when you have that coworker who heats up fish in the communal microwave, you're like, it's my job. Like, well, no, yeah, it is your job.
No, it's different. I'll say that's different.
No, it's not different. You're sharing a communal space. And the fucking smell, the space is only so big. You pay rent here, I pay rent here. Yes, you should be able to eat whatever you want in your house, but it's also, you should take into consideration that it's also my house.
That's fair. If the roommate, if this girl, the poster, had already expressed her own like, hey, I don't like if this doesn't seem like out of the ordinary behavior for the Erica girl. That to just be cooking food or eating or living her life in her house and stuff, and if her roommate, who again she's 20 years old, so like I don't know how you were at 20.
That's why you're still single at your age. Oh, fuck off, dude.
Yeah,
wow. Fuck you.
Somebody told me
old. You think this relationship is gonna last forever? Fucking hey, it's the future. It's not.
I feel like this lady, this Erica person, is, I guess, like, because if she would have expressed it, you're right. Like if she would express it like, I don't like this, the like this is a shared space and there has to be respect for the space because we both share it, is a very different thing than to say my boyfriend thinks you're gross.
My boyfriend thinks you're gross, and that's why he won't commit to me any more shit. Like,
that sentence out loud is wild.
How bad is that fucking logic though? How bad does that logic go? Like my boyfriend.
You can be really fucking stupid when you're trying to justify staying with somebody. Like obviously, and I mean no disrespect, and I hope I'm 1,000% wrong. But if you're gonna come at this situation the way that she did, just on paper, then you're obviously willing to literally slit your roommate's throat. If it comes to the fact, if your boyfriend tells you, "I'll commit to you if you murder your friend." And then, because we don't know how long these people have been, like,
that's a big leap.
They're roommates, but if they were like childhood friends that are now roommates, or like, there's a lot of like unknown variables that I'm inventing in my head that I just think is really fucked up. It's a shitty friendship move, and I just think that, in my experience, women. I'm gonna get murdered for this, but it's true.
How long have you wanted to murder?
Women.
How long has slitting throats been on your mind that you jumped to it so quickly?
I watched 300 like an hour ago.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Sure, okay. Fair enough.
But I feel like there's a lot of situations where women, in my experience, in my isolated experience, where women fall in love and then they forget that they ever had a fucking life before this relationship situation. So you're willing and ready to cut anything out of your life so that it works in this scenario. And I've done it. And it's a fucking dumbass move. So no, she's the asshole forever. It doesn't even bother me that she approached it wrong. Like she's just the asshole.
I do think that's a universal experience, like not always based on gender, because that's a joke with dudes, like when they get a girlfriend that they disappear.
Yeah,
like when like in a guy group of friends, like what happened to Ryan? Oh, he got a girlfriend. You're like, oh yeah, and everybody like understands exactly
but here's the difference with guys, and again, we're painting with a broad
generalizations.
Yeah. But with guys, you're like, oh, what happened to Ryan? Oh, he got a girlfriend. Oh, okay. Like we understand. Hey, man, it's pussy. You got to get that where you can. Yeah, we'll talk on the other side. I'll see you on the other side. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
And women, it's the exact opposite. We're like, we used to be friends, and we went to Margarita Mondays every fucking Monday, and now you fucking got Ryan, and all of a sudden you can fucking talk to me. And we're like, it's that argument.
It's a very caricature version of what happens, but sure.
Well, yeah, like I said, I say painting with a broad brush. I fucking said that. That gives a disclaimer. But I just think that guys, we recognize that the person is disappearing, but we also respect it because we're like, no, it's fine. He's getting late. I got it.
Yes, but also like if it goes like anything into an extreme, like if we see him, you know, like I had this situation with a friend of mine where he was like, you know, like disappeared, and finally we're like, hey man, how you been? Oh well, whatever. Where the girl is like, you can't hang out with your old friends anymore, and that's basically what we were told, and we were all like, that's really weird. That's odd. Do not like. You should hang out with us more, please. You know, like that's scary. Like, come back to your friends. Yeah. Come back to safety. Do you want to do the other one?
Well, so we're gonna talk about. We'll go around the horn real quick. Who's the asshole?
The boyfriend for sure.
Yeah.
The boyfriend for sure.
The writer, the one who went to Reddit because she was crying.
I think they're all the asshole. I think all of them are the asshole. Obviously, to a more lesser degree, Erica. But
she reacted to the assholery.
She reacted to the assholery correctly, but leading up to it, she could have, you know, maybe not fucking made curry and eggs in the same night. Like, take it easy. What are you trying to fucking do? Like, what are you trying to fucking? Who are you trying to hurt, man?
Also, what is it? The specific diet that she has to eat?
Well, then that's a conversation. I'm sorry, Missy, but this is a conversation you have as an adult when you're living with somebody else. When you're a roommate,
you're not sharing a room, though.
No, but but if it's that bad,
eggs really? Why do hard-boiled eggs don't smell that bad?
My wife would disagree with you.
Well, your wife is also afraid of ET. So what are we talking about here?
Yeah. Wow. Shots fired. You're right. I got nothing for that. Correct.
I'm looking out for you, Neri. You can't fight these battles alone. I've known Vanessa 9 years too. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
I'll take the assist. I'll take the assist. All right. I think they're all the assholes, but Erica much less than everybody else. But
much less, yeah. Y'all don't expect me to go there.
Low blow, Michael. Low blow. All right, go to the next one. Right, we got a couple minutes. Get to the next.
Are we doing the next one, or are we shutting it down? Oh, okay. So let's do another. Am I the asshole for not wanting my mother-in-law to take care of my baby after she tried to breastfeed him?
But now
It's gonna get weird.
it's gonna get awkward.
Let's go.
This is I'm gonna blast through this. Okay, my husband and I both work full time, and we have a 2-month-old. My mother-in-law comes to our house every weekend and watches him for free while we work. We're on week 3 of this arrangement since I went back to work after maternity leave. It's very kind of her to do this for our family, and I appreciate it immensely. My baby is breastfed. I pump milk for her to give him during the day, and he gets milk right from the source on evenings and weekends. Right from the source is a funny term. I like it. He loves nursing, and I do too.
Farm to table.
Farm to table. Teat to lips. He loves nursing, and I do too. It's been a teat to lips. It's been a wonderful way for us to bond and a beautiful experience overall. Yesterday, when I was at work, I opened the baby monitor app on my phone to check and see if my mother-in-law was able to get him to take a nap in his crib. She had been texting me saying he was crying really hard, so she was thinking about just holding him for a nap. So I wanted to check this and see if he was okay and if she ended up just holding him. I looked at the camera. Mother-in-law was holding him, and she had her shirt up, and he was latched onto her breast. I was shocked and horrified, so say we all. I called her right away, and she didn't answer, so I had to sit there and watch her attempt to breastfeed my baby. He was latched on, but obviously not getting any milk, as my mother-in-law is not lactating. I told you it was going to get weird. Wow. I called my husband at work, who eventually got a hold of her. Apparently, the baby was crying so hard, and that was the only thing she could think of to calm him down enough to sleep. She breastfed all 4 of her children when they were babies, and it always calmed them down enough to sleep. She was mad that I checked the camera and told him it was an invasion of privacy. I think we found it. I don't want her watching my baby anymore. No shit. We can afford a nanny or daycare. When I told my mother-in-law this, she freaked out and said I was being a bitch. And she was just trying to calm the baby down, and it wasn't a big deal. She says I'm taking her grandchild away from her and being unfair. My husband understands why I'm upset, but wants to give her another chance to watch the baby. He also doesn't want to spend the money to get a nanny or do daycare when she can care for our baby for free. This sounds like that boyfriend be like, oh, he's a good dad, but he beats me, whatever. Like, he's really trying to get that free childcare. Am I being unreasonable here? I'm so upset with her and just completely baffled at why she would do this that I never even want to see her again, let alone have her anywhere near my baby. I think I could possibly be the asshole for checking up on her through the camera, and also for not wanting her to watch my baby anymore, even though that would mean spending extra money and taking away something she really seems to enjoy doing. Am I the asshole?
Real quick, before we get there, let's get to the audience reactions.
Yes,
all right. So Yolanda says that's fucked up.
Yep.
Vanessa really happy that we're reading this one. Apparently she read this one.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa says that the OP is not the asshole.
Sure.
Izu says I feel bad for the baby. That's point that I don't think anybody's really fucking thinking about at this point.
I didn't think anybody thought. I was not thinking about that, but I guess.
Yeah, because that's an old titty, dude. You don't want to know that. And Olivia says, what the fuck? This is not okay. Hell no. Olivia, please specify which part of this is not okay.
The mom.
A fair amount of this is not okay.
Yes. Jeff says, better the kid than your husband. I've seen that movie. Yes, it also comes up in my algorithm in Pornhub as well. Rookie, shout out to Rookie, another OG fucking listener.
Rookie!
From fucking back in the day. This Rookie is literally the first one that we met in person. The first fan of the show that we met in person.
IRL fan.
That we did not know already. It's not like, oh, my cousin is a fan of the show. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law is 100% the asshole, as what Rookie says.
Yes.
Vanessa says a boob.
So let's start. Missy.
Where you at?
No, you guys go first.
Are you swallowing the vomit down?
No, I don't find that disgusting, but
No, not the breast. Look, I'm pro natural
think,
breastfeeding, you know, but whatever.
I think the mother-in-law is definitely the asshole. If we're gonna do percentages, I would give the mother-in-law 95% of the assholery.
Really?
And then I would give 5% to the writer, because why did you send your husband to have this conversation and not handle it yourself?
I don't think that was
my opinion, my stance, but that's just.
I don't think that. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but I don't think that's what happened. I don't think the husband was the one to run interference. She tried to call the mother-in-law, and there was no answer. So then she called the husband at work.
She's at your house.
She didn't answer the phone. The mother-in-law didn't answer the phone.
Answer the phone. She was fucking feeding the baby.
Right. So the mother-in-law didn't answer the phone. So because she couldn't get a hold of it, she's like, she had to sit there and watch what was going down. No answer. And then she was like, I called my husband at work, who eventually got a hold of her. So like, clearly she was dodging phone calls. So she was trying to address it directly, but the mother-in-law wasn't answering. So I just want to clarify what I read, because I did not get that the husband was the one that did the interference. But I don't think the husband did it at all.
Right, you're so fucking pedantic. Jesus.
I know.
Well, I feel like yeah, okay, but once he gets a hold of her, like, that's a conversation I want to have with the lady. Why? I don't really know. Like, I get not getting a hold of her and using the husband, okay, but then redirect the conversation back to me, because I want to have that conversation. I just don't.
I think you're reading into that a little more than what's on here, because I don't think that's not the vibe I got at all. I got the vibe that she was pissed and she was like calling a family meeting and like, this needs to be addressed and all that stuff. I thought she handled it very directly, and the only reason the husband got the call first was because the mother-in-law wasn't answering. Because then he says, who eventually got a hold of her, and then she was mad that I checked the camera, but it seems like there was.
What do you say? What do you think?
I don't think this woman is the asshole in any way. She's a lot like she has someone monitoring. Like, people have baby monitor apps all the time. Like, it's understood that you shouldn't be doing, like, it's not spying if it's on your own baby.
Yeah, no,
I don't think this woman was wrong in any way.
I think she was wrong. I think she was not. The main huge wrong is the mother, right? The grandmother.
Yes, that's crazy.
Huge. That's absurd. That's very wrong. So I'm not sitting here, but I'm with Rookie in this one. When Rookie said that the breastfeeding thing was weird, but her reaction was crazy.
Are you talking about the mother or the mother-in-law?
I think let's call her grandma, because that's what the
grandma,
maybe. So grandma wet feeding. I think that's what it's called. Vanessa says later on
wet nursing.
Wet nursing. Vanessa says wet nursing is an accepted practice, but not without consent. So what I didn't even know that was a thing.
But that's not what's happening here.
I think that's weird.
That's not what's happening here. She's not producing any milk. She's not feeding the baby with her tits. She's
pacifier. She's doing a pacifier.
She could have put a fucking pacifier in there, not her nipple.
So I think grandma's wrong for using a boob, right? I also think that the reaction from the daughter, although understandable at first, I think the reaction of like pulling babysitting duties from her, she's right. The grandma's right. You're taking away her grandkid, the right to see her grandkid. I think that's, I don't know.
I look, and I will preface this by, I always give the disclaimer of that I do not have or want children, because God forbid this happen. Like, how do you handle this shit? Like, the idea of someone, regardless of who, because again, it's not about I can give a fuck about the family thing. She literally pulled her tit out and put it in the baby's mouth to try and breastfeed the baby without any practical use. Like, there's other ways to calm the baby. You don't have to pull your titty out. That's so weird.
I don't think anybody's defending the grandma.
Okay, and then
I don't think anybody's defending the grandma.
This is if we're taking the situation
at face value. That's a crazy violation, though. Like, I don't think we're glossing over it a little too much. And
it's a violation. It's disrespectful. It's creepy as fuck. She needs to talk to somebody about that shit for sure.
Yeah, don't watch my kid.
And the reaction of the mom of flipping out and flipping her shit is completely understandable. Now, would I escalate it to the point where I don't want you around my kid anymore?
If that was grandpa,
it's a weird, fucked up incident.
And he still got a nipple.
Yeah.
How do you take out a nipple if you're a guy? Don't you just take off your shirt and then they're
I have nipples too, Greg.
I have nipples too, but like that's the thing. This is fucked up. Like this is so much more fucked up than you people are addressing.
Mike, we're not glossing over the fact that it's fucked up.
She should not be allowed to watch that baby again if she broke the. If the mom doesn't want the mother-in-law to watch the baby. That's fucking in her right.
You said, oh, you guys are. This is more fucked up than you guys are giving. You guys are glossing over how fucked up this is. We're not glossing over it. It's just that it's understood that it's fucked up. Like there's no argument.
Wait, but then so it's fucked up. But then you're still gonna let the grandmother watch the kid?
No,
unsupervised.
Maybe not right away. But I'm not gonna.
What unsupervised? You have the fucking baby cam. What unsupervised? What are you talking about? She wasn't unsupervised now.
She was unsupervised. Look, being surveilled is different than being supervised. Like you watching somebody do something and then from a distance and not being able to intervene if something changes is different than being there present to prevent something from happening.
Okay.
Because something will still happen. You're just going to watch it go down.
Okay. All right.
So the mother who had this it's not her mom. It's not her mom. It's her mother-in-law.
Here's a question. Would the mom, the poster, would she be freaking out as much if it was her own mom doing that?
That's not the question though.
I think that is a question because I think the question is are you freaking out because that's
not the question.
I think that's a valid question to ask. Would you be taking away the rights for your own mom? If your mom did this, if your own mom did this, if you're the poster, if her own mom did this, would she be taking away the rights to see the grandkid?
If it's me, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
If it's me, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I just think I think everything up
Vanessa's about to storm into the office.
Yeah, man, it's so fucked up. I'm with Vanessa on this.
Nobody's disagreeing that it's fucked up.
I'll protect her from ET. Vanessa's on my team now.
I don't understand. Nobody's disagreeing that it's fucked up. There's nobody who's saying, nobody's defending that act.
I'm not. At no point had been like, but why not? Maybe it would have worked.
I think you guys are missing my point. Taking the rights away from that person to be with that child unsupervised.
Have rights.
Exactly.
So, but you do have, but in a mother/mother-in-law dynamic, this woman is not going to die tomorrow. You're going to have to deal with her for the rest. You're in a fucking marathon. You're not in a race.
She shouldn't have put her fucking tit in my baby's mouth. It's up to the mother. No, hold on. It's up to the mother-in-law to seek forgiveness for doing something fucked up.
Literally in the middle of saying something, and you just go
No, because that's super fucked up to allow shit to happen.
Wait, Mike. She's literally talking, and you just said. Like you didn't even cut her off by giving your point. You
man, because this kid was like there was a crazy violation of this mother and the baby.
Nobody's
and then to say
agreeing with that.
Let me get to the reason why I cut off I cut off Mizzy because the idea that you're gonna let something slide because you're gonna have to deal with something longer than the immediate correction has to happen. And then it's up to the person who did the violating to seek forgiveness, not you. It doesn't matter what the mom is in the for the long haul. That's crazy to me to allow someone who's violated your child in some way to we gotta negotiate. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm glad that we picked this one to end our 300th episode with.
I mean, why would we end it any different?
All right, so let's go through some of the comments.
I'm sorry, Missy. I'm sorry. I got heated because
it's fine.
I absolutely. I'm so mad.
Why are you mad? Like I don't understand why you're mad. You're mad at fucking. What are you mad at?
This is such a frustrating thing to look. I'll be honest with you. This is so frustrating to have any kind of defense, any kind of defense of something like this, to have some kind of maybe this feels like when Trump was making the on both sides argument. There's no both sides here. You know what I mean? Like there's no two sides to this story. the mother violated a boundary with that child set by the parent of that child. If they were strangers, it would be a crime. There's nothing different, regardless, because it's family. There's nothing changes. That would be a violation in some way. I'm this close to calling it like some sort of like sexual assault or some sort of assault of a,
Well, some people are agreeing with you, Mike. Some people in the comments. Olivia says the mother-in-law breastfeeding the grandchild and everything she did after that is 100% the asshole is the mother-in-law. Olivia then says, what was she trying to do? Give the child 100-year-old expired milk.
In all fairness, how
that's my friend. I'm claiming her. That's my friend.
Yeah.
My friend.
Yolanda says the mother-in-law is the asshole. She should still be able to see her grandchild, but supervised.
Exactly.
So there's that. Vanessa says mother-in-law is actually dry nursing, which is hilarious. Is that an actual term? I don't know if that's a term or
no.
But that's
trademark.
Funny. What'd she say? Vanessa says, "Do not put your titty in my baby's mouth."
Nobody's encouraging that.
Nobody's encouraging that. Here's the thing. We're gonna finish this episode. I'm gonna leave this room, and I'm gonna have to have a whole one-sided argument because I'm not disagreeing with it. But Vanessa, my wife, is gonna be like, and then I'm like, but I'm not disagreeing. Like I'm not. Like it's gonna be one of those things where she's gonna like just like what Mike did. She's gonna vent out her frustration on me, and I'm like, but I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, okay.
Just remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yolanda says it's gross. Olivia, for her to be a quote wet nurse, grandma would have to be producing milk. That's true. Vanessa says that you could make the argument that it's assault.
Absolutely.
That is true. Where am I here?
There has to be a law.
Rookie says the mother-in-law reacting by calling her a bitch was crazy thing. Mom is justified.
Yep. Thank you, Rookie.
Izu says grandma was wrong, but then again, it seems the baby was crying nonstop and she tried other things to make him stop. Desperate move and it worked. Did it work? Did we get the fact that it worked or not?
I don't. Well, it says when I looked in the camera, mother-in-law was holding him, and he was latched onto the breast. He was latched on, but obviously not getting any milk, as the mother-in-law is not lactating. I don't know. I mean,
goes in my baby's mouth.
Yeah.
Jeff says, "Listen, I know it's fucked up, but do you realize how much babysitters are in a recession?" Jeff.
You know what's wait, we're missing a whole big part of the story. She has milk in the fridge. She has breast milk that she gives him during the day.
Trying to feed the baby, Mike. She was just trying to shut the baby up. She was basically using her tit as a pacifier. She never acknowledged. Even the poster acknowledged she's not giving her milk because she's not lactating. It was never about milk. It was about shutting the baby up. Now the way she went about it, wrong. Everybody agrees that was wrong, but it wasn't about feeding the baby. It was about putting something in the baby's mouth to help it stop crying. Let me see here.
That's not what it says here, though. But
Olivia says, "Thank you, Missy."
I think that's because I claimed her as my friend.
And then Vanessa says, "You violated my baby and my trust, and then you expect me to leave you alone with my baby? Oh hell nah!" That she didn't write that, but I'm adding that little flavor for her. And then Olivia saying that didn't we have a conversation about mansplaining?
Yeah, but we're talking about opinions, not actual facts and stuff. Because you're doing it
right now. You're doing it.
Not to you. I can't mansplain to you. I'm just being a dick to you. That's different.
Use a fucking pacifier, Vanessa says with 16 exclamation marks.
Because not to be pedantic, but we're talking about remember, we always say that what's not written there, we can't make assumptions. Yes. And what she says is that she's
not lactating.
There's
hold
no
on. Milk. She's not producing milk.
She watched her try. I'm reading it. I was shocked. I called her right away. She had to sit there and watch her attempt to breastfeed my baby. He was latched on, but obviously not getting any milk, as my mother-in-law is not lactating. That's not about the mother-in-law's motive in any way. The mother-in-law was trying to.
But then later on, she said in the argument, the mother-in-law said that I was just trying to. The baby was crying nonstop, and I couldn't think of anything else. That's what she says in the post. Like the poster put that. That's what the grandma said.
She breastfed all 4 of her children when they were babies, and it always calmed them down enough to sleep.
There you go.
But that's not like that's not food. Like that's not food. Like if the baby wanted food, there's milk in the fridge.
I agree, and that's why I believe, and maybe this is my leap, I guess, if you want to call it. But I don't believe that the grandmother was trying to feed the baby. I just think it was trying to pacify the baby. Again, wrong methods. I'm not agreeing with the methods, dude. I'm just telling you this. It is crazy. It is fucking very crazy. I don't understand. What about if this? No, I get it. It's crazy. I can't. I'm not gonna.
What about you? Are you trying to like find the both sides?
No.
Of this?
What about if it's a young grandma? Like, what about if she's like 40 years old? You know,
I was thinking about that too. Not all grandmas are old.
But it's stupid. Either way, it doesn't make a difference. That's the violation is a violation.
Yeah, man.
So Missy, I know Mike.
I don't care anymore.
Mike trust you, so she shut down. All right. Well, thank you guys for checking us out. Next time we'll try not to have a guy go to you and then but 300, man, 300 episodes, 9 years. So very happy about it. We should have probably.
I used to be a listener too. Dreams do come true, kids. I was.
You want to yell at me? You can tell me to shush, and I will do it.
No, but it's too late.
It's fine. It'll happen again next week and the week after that. It's not a big deal.
But I don't think we should have ended on such a serious topic because this breastfeeding thing got real heated.
I didn't realize I hadn't read this until right now. I didn't realize.
I don't read any of them. I don't read any of them. I think I read. I let you guys read them and go. I only read the titles. So whenever who's the one that shared this one? Vanessa? Was it Vanessa that shared this one?
I don't remember.
She shared it Neri to our chat, and I think you sent it to.
So it's my fault. I'll take the blame. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for checking us out. Mike, he has 1,000 different podcasts. Check out his at Mike Mercadal. You see it right there. See it right there.
Mercadal.
Right there. So make sure you guys check that out. Check out his other podcast, All the Cubanity, and Mike Contextualizes the Universe, available on the Missing Sock Network. So go to missingsock.com. Check out those podcasts. Missy the writer, Missy Writes. Go check out missywrites.com.
She's trying to, but she's having writer's block, but it'll come back, I guess.
That's just keep writing, man. So missywrites.com. Check out her previous poster. They're great. I think I enjoy them. Her handle is at Missy the Writer on Instagram and all that, and Twitter and the tweets and stuff. And then you can check out at Neri Science. Thank you guys for checking us out. Make sure he's
a comedian and he's funny as fuck.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the Facebook channel, to the Facebook page. Our Instagram is WuBro Pod. It's been 300 episodes, and I've had a lot of fun on a lot of these. So thank you very much for something we've had. Man, there was times where me and Stephanie Mayer Senior, we just went, and it was just but that's what made us love each other more. So in the end, love grows from.
I'm still here.
She's still there. So thank you guys.
No, I mean, Neri and I have gone into ridiculous arguments about I can't even tell you what the fuck it was.
In all fairness, I have add to Neri too. It was not a gender thing.
It's still on his mind.
Yeah,
still on his mind. I love the fact that it's still on his mind.
Yeah,
as it should be, because it was wrong. Such a.
Oh my god.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Yolanda says good luck, Neri. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody in chat. Thank you.
Thank you everybody for participating. Shout out to Yolanda.
And if you are listening to us on the audio version of this, make sure you check out the Facebook page and the YouTube. Thank you very much for checking us out. 300 episodes, man. Let's go for 300 more. Hopefully it won't take us another 9 years, but let's fucking do it.
Right?
All right. Thank you guys.